Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So, what do you think would happen if the quote unquote devil came down to Earth and started working as a part time employee at basically McDonald's? You probably would not understand that, and it would probably be really funny at the same time. And that is the whole premise of this anime series that I just saw. This is The Devil is a Part-Timer. And this isn't a new series. It came out in 2013. However, it is now available on Netflix. And obviously, you could have watched this in other places way earlier. But I did see this on Netflix. There's actually a 13 episodes on season 1, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if there is another season. I don't know if there's another season, but this is what I saw. And so if you have not seen this series, I am going to go through some spoilers. But this is a really, really interesting take, and I actually enjoyed this particular series, okay? And so the whole idea is the devil and his generals. There is one of his general is named Lucifer, which is kind of funny, and a Shia, and there's also two other demon generals, and they're fighting against the holy side, okay, and that is led by Emilia, the hero, and then she has three other main, soldiers that are comparable to the actual generals that the devil has, okay? And so that is the whole premise of it. And the very intro, they go through a lot of things extremely quick to tell you the whole backstory, and they end up on Earth because at the end of this really quick story, Emilia the hero finally gets to the devil's main head castle, the dark castle, the devil castle, and they are fighting, and it looks like Emilia the hero is about to win, okay? It looks like that, okay? And so with that being said, the devil and one of his generals, Ashia, they escape, and they go through this portal, and they end up on Earth, specifically in Japan. And this is where things get kind of funny, because when they actually end up here on Earth, they lose their magical powers, which is basically what gives them all their powers, okay? So now they're in a human form, okay? That isn't really explained really clearly, but I guess that doesn't matter. And at the same time, they are now having to live as humans, okay? Now, they do have some magical power, but as you learn throughout the whole series, it has to grow through certain means, okay? So I'll leave it at that, and you could figure it out when you watch the show. But also, not only do the two demons come, but also Emilia the hero comes as well. And it gets kind of funny because when she comes, she also has to take a human form, and she loses her power, which is basically a celestial hero power, through her sword and so forth. And so now, instead of it being like this action anime type show, it actually becomes more of like a high school type anime, okay? And if you watch any type of Japanese anime, you're probably very familiar with this. It's a lot about young angst and becoming a teenager, becoming an adult, and then a lot of like fish in the water type stories, but at the same time it always has that fantasy element. And so that's where this it gets into a lot of those same areas that you've seen in a lot of animes. But what's different is there's so much humor in this show, which is one thing I really love. I really enjoyed the characters. I love the devil, Ashia, Emilia, and then later on other characters come, such as Lucifer, and then also some of other characters on Emilia's side comes as well. And then after a certain point, it's really not about the battle that they had in their previous realm, and it's more about just like being young, being broke, trying to work at McDonald's. In this case, it's called McRago's. Emilia she works at a call center, and it's a Docomo Media. It's supposed to. These are all a play on actual companies. Docomo is in Japan, obviously McDonald's, and there's also a funny one for Kentucky Fried Chicken as well. And so I love the fact that this is extremely, extremely character driven. You really care about the characters, and there's so much humor, some of which I don't even know if it was intentional. But the weird thing is, because so much of it is focused on them, there's really not a lot of action in this, And for a lot of animes, when there's not a lot of action, especially if it's a multi-part series, it usually becomes boring. But, The Devil's a Part-Timer did a really good job of handling that. And the funny thing is, whenever, I didn't mean to do that, but whenever the action scenes actually happen and the battle finishes it, it's really not to where he kills them, and as a matter of fact, it really serves them as to becoming characters within the show itself, which makes it even more enjoyable. And at the same time, I really think there are more parts to this as well in other seasons, and you really still don't know much about the other realm, okay? And it's more like a very, cliche type anime stuff where they're in a medieval futuristic type realm mixed with fantasy. And it also, the Japanese anime loves to play with that traditional Christian type religion aspect where there's always devils and demons versus angels, and the church. And so it has those same elements of pretty much the majority of Japanese anime. However, it takes a different approach by, bringing in the teenage aspect of it in a way that is very humorous, that you really, really care about the characters. And when the action goes down, it really goes down. This is a really beautiful looking anime, but I can't say enough about it. This is so much about the characters and the humorous things that they're going through and just being young, being broke, living in a big city. It's just really fun. I mean, I really, really enjoyed The Devil's a Part-Timer. It's one of my favorites anime that I've seen so far in 2017 because of the fact that the characters are done so well. So if you have not seen The Devil's a Part-Timer, be sure to check it out. It is on Netflix if you have a Netflix account. I'm pretty sure you can watch it in other places. But, check it out. It's funny. You get a lot of laughs. But at the same time, it has a lot of those Japanese anime elements that are familiar, but at the same time, it's refreshing in a way that they told it. So if you had any thoughts on The Devil's a Part-Timer, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And if there's any other great animes that you've seen, whether it's on Netflix or whether it's on Crunchyroll or any other places, be sure to leave that in the comments area below as well. And as always, if you did get a lot of value out of these videos, leave a like and subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/Geek Outdoors. All that information is in the description area. So thanks for watching. See you in another episode. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com. And I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.